Well, I think it's finally time I did this. I talked about doing it for a while, but you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. Rainbow Six Siege and I have a complicated history. I was first introduced to the game thanks to Russian Badger's videos on the game. I found him very funny, and the game looked entertaining, despite the fact I'm garbage at first-person shooter games, let alone in a multiplayer setting. But I was willing to try it. I installed the game sometime around the ending of Operation Grim Sky, and I played it on and off for some time, up until around Operation Phantom Sight. And around that time, I'd grown a bit bored of the game. I wasn't satisfied with it, I wasn't very good at it, and plus I was far more invested in For Honor at the time. But I also couldn't totally drop the game forever either. As a storyteller and someone with a great amount of appreciation for characters, motivations, and lore, I wanted to see what else the game might offer in that regard. As Rainbow Six Siege had started taking more of a lore-focused direction, I felt like it was time I started talking about the aspects of the game that I can talk about. Kind of like what I've been doing with Dead by Daylight, I'd like to discuss the operators of Rainbow Six. I won't do them in any specific order, though I will be doing this attacker, defender in that order, and I will be calling them wins or cringes depending on how their lore and usability pan out for me. I've been planning to do something like this for some time, but never found the opportunity. Now is the time, and I think it'd be best if I started with my main and one of my favorite operators in the game, Grace Nom, also called Dokkaebi.
Your phone is ringing. Here. Let me get that for you.
Grace Nom was named after the famous American actress Grace Kelly, and much like that exceptional woman she was named after, young Nom performed above and beyond expectations. A brilliant girl, she scavenged and scrounged to get hold of pieces and parts to build her first computer, and when she wasn't playing with her tech, she played soccer with the neighborhood boys, and occasionally would get into fights with them. Grace was more than a little confrontational. She didn't like being told what she could or couldn't do, nor did she like to lose. Her attitude and demeanor rubbed her school teachers the wrong way and worried her parents. Grace, not wanting to cause any more trouble, learned quickly to play the roles she needed. Adopting the art of the chameleon, Dokkaebi realized that the only way to be herself and make everyone happy was to adopt a persona that disguised her more aggressive attitudes. She adopted a geek girl persona to throw off the conceptions of her peers and superiors. This is the way Grace likes it. Giving off a weaker or more laid-back air makes everyone around her underestimate her. So when she performs beyond their expectations, the victory tastes all that much sweeter. After graduating from the Korean Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, Grace enlisted in the Republic of Korean Army and was assigned to the 5163rd Army Division. Seeking ever more adventures and trials, Grace earned a spot in the 9th Special Forces Brigade, known as the Ghost Corps, where she was trained in survival techniques, guerrilla warfare, and mountaineering. Despite this rapid climb, though, Grace remained the unorthodox and wily gremlin she always was. After doing joint training exercises with the Green Berets, her American instructors encouraged her to expand her arsenal and try out for the 707th Special Missions Group, the White Tigers, which she managed to gain entrance into. Joining the White Tigers proved to be an excellent decision. Nom was finally among her peers and was able to more easily fit in. Her skills meshed well with her fellows, however, her assertive nature began to show itself again. Grace was ambitious and also fierce. She didn't like to lose and was excited to prove herself. This caused her to clash with Major General Ku, a traditional and old guard soldier with connections all the way up to the highest officers. Ku looked at Nom as a nail in need of hammering down. He expected conformity and loyalty in his soldiers, but Nom was swift to push the boundaries. This led Ku to make life different and difficult for Nom, holding her back and looking for ways to expel her from the unit. Realizing that she wouldn't be able to last in the White Tigers forever with people like Ku holding her back, Grace needed a change. From training with the SAS, she learned about Rainbow and thought it sounded like a good opportunity. However, she knew Ku would never recommend her, so she decided to do what she always did: manipulate the system. Despite her best efforts, Grace was caught in her attempts to hack the system of Rainbow and place her name on the list of applicants. But while the Tigers and several members of Rainbow itself wanted her punished for this, Director Harry Pandy was quite impressed. He saw potential in an operative with such skill and ambition. While others wanted her gone, he offered her a position, much to the surprise and frustration of Major General Ku. As a result, Ku began working to undermine Grace's position in Rainbow by attempting to expel her from the White Tigers. An agreement was reached. One slip up from Grace in Rainbow, and she was expelled. Paranoid and worried, Grace worked her hardest to fit in and prove herself to her new peers. The problem she had was that Grace was one of the youngest new operators at Rainbow with very little combat experience. While older operators like Thatcher, Hibana, and others saw her as a young upstart, this only pushed her harder and harder not to fall behind, which became something of a detriment for her as other operators became worried about her ability to perform. Things only got worse when not long after Grace joined up, another member of the White Tigers was recruited into Rainbow, Chul Kyung-hwa, or Vigil as he's often called. Vigil, unlike Dokkaebi, was a favorite of Ku, and Dokkaebi became paranoid that Vigil had joined with instructions to spy on her for Ku, and report on any failings or slip-ups she suffered. In reality, though, that wasn't the case. Vigil was there to protect her, to make sure nothing happened that would give Ku a reason to get rid of her. To further protect herself, Dokkaebi formed a close and competitive working relationship with operator Masaru Eko Inatsu, so he might help her create a new countermeasure against any attempts of sabotage. But this had the unintended side effect of the equally crafty and mischievous Eko stealing the coding Dokkaebi uses in her logic bombs for his own personal use. Thus, Eko is the only operator who is able to avoid Dokkaebi's logic bomb attacks during drills and training exercises, much to Dokkaebi's irritation. During her training exercises, Dokkaebi was occasionally partnered with Mike Thatcher Baker. The two initially didn't seem to get along, as Thatcher didn't seem to understand or appreciate Dokkaebi's indirect means of solving problems.
Attention all operators, 30 seconds remaining in the scenario.
Smoky now.
To him, her reliance on technology, cameras, and her tablet made her too slow and unreliable in the field.
Don't worry. Maybe we'll get it right next time.
2 more seconds and we would have had eyes in the room.
If they were already on cameras, that's 2 seconds too slow.
Dokkaebi took his ill treatment and lecturing as a sign of disrespect and disdain from the older operator, going so far as to complain to Harry directly. However, in truth, Thatcher wasn't trying to shame Dokkaebi, but rather protect her. Thatcher felt concerned for her and was attempting to help her grow and evolve beyond just her use in technology, even going so far as to gift Dokkaebi his own combat knife.
Piece of advice. No like that.
When Harry helped to elaborate this to Dokkaebi, her opinion on Thatcher changed, and the two developed a close mentor and pupil relationship, manifesting itself during the first Tournament of Champions, where the two were put on a team together. During the event, when rival operator Cavier was threatening Thatcher and had him in a dangerous hold, Dokkaebi came to his rescue, eliminating Cavier with a shot to her head and saving her mentor.
Hey, Cav. Mike?
Grace?
In the second tournament, Dokkaebi once again made it to the final round alongside her teammates Kali and Ash. While pinned down, Ash called for sniper support from Kali, which she promptly ignored, deciding instead to win her own way. Using her sniper rifle, Kali shot a barricade open, exposing Dokkaebi to the enemy, thus luring out the targets. And though Kali did manage to win the match, Dokkaebi was eliminated.
What the heck is he doing? Giving them a clear target.
Come out and play.
Kali's disregard for her teammates and the humiliation of being betrayed and used as bait had an impact on Dokkaebi, turning her harshly against Nighthaven when the Rainbow Division took place. She currently is on Squad Viper Strike under the command of Hibana. Grace Nam is now surrounded by individuals who challenge her, test her, and improve her. Though she is still desperate to prove herself to her peers, she now has the confidence of several members of the team, including Thatcher. She sat in on gadget testing and analysis, including Mozzie's pest gadget, in which she acknowledged the ingenuity of the design, though she pointed out she could improve it if she wanted to. According to Harry, despite all of her gifts, deep down Dokkaebi is afraid that she doesn't fit in or doesn't belong, that the trust placed in her is misplaced and she doesn't deserve to stand alongside such excellent soldiers. Her occasional clashes with Vigil, Hibana, and Mozzie are, in reality, necessary to help her grow. Beyond being a simple hacker, Dokkaebi is a creative thinker, capable of solving problems in unique ways. It's this mindset that Harry grew interested in and has staked his recruitment on. Dokkaebi does belong among them. She just doesn't realize it yet. Dokkaebi has two special abilities, both of which make her incredibly useful for information and intel gathering. First is her logic bomb. Dokkaebi carries around with her a ballistic armor military laptop that can deploy a logic bomb hack. She uses this up to 2 times in a round. When activated, all phones on the defending team will ring for 12 seconds, emitting a loud, vibrating buzzing sound. While the phones are buzzing this way, defenders cannot look on cameras. The phones can be turned off manually by performing a 5-second animation, which locks them in place during the animations, creating a potential opportunity for attackers to close ground or set up an assault. The logic bomb can be countered by mute jammers, which will prevent the logic bomb from impacting any operator within their radius. I'm going to go ahead and ring phones. No sound, so let's go in. I heard that. Well, wait, Glads. Careful. I don't trust it. See, this is why I said wait. This is why I said wait. Fuse, you absolute maniac. Oh! Her second special ability is her phone hacking ability. When Dokkaebi is on the attacking team, defending operators who are eliminated will drop destructible phones that Dokkaebi can see indicated. Dokkaebi can approach these phones and hack them in an animation that takes 6 seconds. When the action is completed, the attacking team will gain access to the defending operator's cameras for the rest of the round. This includes indestructible cameras, Valkyrie cameras, Maestro Evil Eyes, Mozzie's hacked drones, and etc. This makes Dokkaebi excellent for not only gaining information for the attacking team, but locking down operators, forcing them to destroy their own cameras to deny information, as well as locking them in place with logic bombs, raising the opportunity for attackers to capitalize on her abilities. First, let's drone out who we're dealing with. Oh, no you don't. Don't mess with the Korean operator. Now let's get their gadget. Next we go hack. Dokkaebi is equipped with 2 options for primary weaponry and 3 options for her sidearm. She comes equipped with the MK14 EBR marksman rifle. While it's weaker in damage output than the other marksman rifles in the game, it can be equipped with an angled grip, providing added versatility and flexibility. It has low recoil per shot and has high damage regardless of drop-off, but has the disadvantage of limited short-range use. This one is my personal favorite. She also carries the Boss G 12.2 shotgun. This double-barrel shotgun fires a slug rather than a spread of pellets, meaning that it has more range than most shotguns and higher damage output. It's capable of downing most operators with 1 shot at close range, has quick rates of fire, and massive destructive capabilities. The downside is it only has 2 shots before needing to be reloaded and has high recoil.
A group of 2,500 workers.
Swapping mags!
For her sidearms, the C75 auto machine pistol is my go-to. A fully automatic pistol that has a high rate of fire, can do a reasonable amount of damage per round, and has a decent recoil that can be managed. But it has the disadvantage of having no sighting options, and you'll find you drain ammo rapidly.
See, this is why I said wait! This is why I said wait!
She also carries the Gone 6 hand cannon, a single-shot weapon that fires an explosive round that explodes on impact on the surface it hits. It can break holes through breakable surfaces, destroy gadgets, and causes minimal damage to operators. This weapon only has a single-shot usage before it becomes useless and has no secondary shot, meaning players need to be careful how and where it's used, and in my opinion, it's ultimately useless when you have plenty of other operators that can break open much bigger walls much easier.
You must recover the diffuser.
And finally, she has the SMG-12 machine pistol, a rapid-fire, fully automatic handgun with an incredibly high rate of fire, an integral suppressor to mask sound, and has a high magazine capacity. However, it has no barrel attachments due to its suppressor, and it has an incredible recoil. Adding a vertical grip can help with that, but the recoil is still hard to handle for long uses. For that reason, it's best used in short bursts rather than prolonged fire. The primary goal of Dokkaebi is to gather intel for her team. Unlike Fuse, Sledge, or Buck, who are best at going directly to the enemy and using superior firepower and powerful gadgets to devastate the enemy's ranks and defenses, Dokkaebi should be used in a more versatile and laid-back manner. I usually have her enter the map somewhere a fair distance from the objective, keeping her in a safe location. As I notice my team is getting close to the objective, I send my first logic bomb so that any hiding operators will be heard by my team. This also will let me know if I'm being stalked by a cav or roaming operator. Once I get close to the objective, I use openings in doorways and barricades to pick off shots with the MK14 from safety. If my team is struggling or getting ready to breach, I ring the second logic bomb to lock the defenders in place or get them noticed easier. I try to stay alive long enough to get hold of a defender's phone and hack cameras if I can. After that, I put the fate of the team in the hands of my betters. In terms of loadout, I run the MK14 Marksman rifle and the C75. The Boss G is an excellent weapon, but its double shot use is a risk my poor accuracy can't risk. Besides, I find it far more useful in the hands of someone like Vigil. The hand cannon is fundamentally useless to me, as it's a single use before being useless. I'd be better off just staying near Sledge or Buck in that regard. And the SMG-12 has way too much kick for me to rely on. In terms of side gadgets, I prefer to stick with stun grenades personally. In terms of good combinations, I recommend combining Dokkaebi with IQ, Fuse, Jackal, or Thatcher. IQ can spot operators trying to turn off their phones with her gadget, Jackal can stalk operators with his, and you can use your logic bomb to hold his prey in place, and Fuse will love you forever if you can hold all the operators still while he launches his cluster charges. In fact, that was an old strategy of Lark and I. He would run Fuse, I would run Dokkaebi, he would ask me to call phones, and then once he heard them, he'd launch his cluster charge. Plus, Thatcher is a good choice in case the enemy team has a mute. Since Mute is the strongest counter to Dokkaebi's logic bomb, thus having someone who can knock out Mute's gadgets will help you in the long run. Of course, running Dokkaebi and Lion is also a good option, since both are similar tactic-wise. They both hunt down operators and both can potentially lock players in place, but they also counter each other, as if an operator's already staying still to avoid Lion, Dokkaebi's call won't do more than keep them still longer. The name Dokkaebi refers to a creature from Korean folklore that wears a unique cap and acts mischievous, offering both aid and harm to people depending on its mood. This nature encapsulates Dokkaebi to a T. She's my main because of her lore, her gadget, and her usability. As someone who isn't great at the game and has poor accuracy, I like having an operator who can be of use to my team by holding back and gaining intel. Her MK14 is excellent in terms of damage and forgiving to miss headshots. While I liked her a lot better when she had frag grenades, her loadout is solid and her elite skin and victory animation, while maybe a little cringe, are just too satisfying to ignore. Russian Badger once said that while he loves what Dokkaebi can do, he hates who she is. And I kind of understand the sentiment. It's easy to be put off by Dokkaebi's hacker girl persona, but at the same time, it's that very reaction that Dokkaebi might be looking for. She longs to have others underestimate her or look down on her so she can defy expectations. In a lot of ways, Dokkaebi matches her name exquisitely. A little gremlin or goblin that harasses the enemy team while supporting her allies in the most unorthodox manner. Yet to an outstanding effect. Thank you guys for watching this first episode of Rainbow Six Wins, where I go through the operators. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this, whether or not you'd like to see me continue it. Let me know what you think of Dokkaebi and what you like about her if you play her. If you don't play Rainbow Six Siege, well, I understand if this all confused you, but I hope you still were entertained anyway. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.
Here. Let me get that for you.